Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody, welcome to the 7th episode of THiRD. I'm one of your hosts, Eric, and with me as always is my co-host, Matt. Matt, how has this week been going for you?
It hasn't been bad. Admittedly, I haven't been playing a whole bunch of Battleborn this week. Been busy with other stuff, but looking forward to getting back to it in time for Ernest to drop this week for us. And other than that, just playing some Witcher 3. About to go do some pub trivia tonight after we record this. So how about you? How's your last week in Alaska been?
Pretty dang good. Things are wrapping up here. We got the bags packed, and I know everyone's wondering, did I battle the bear?
You didn't.
Did I?
You didn't.
I did. Maybe.
Liar.
But
No.
what do people always say online? Pictures or it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe you guys might see a couple pictures of that battle I had.
Of
with
a bear.
Of a giant brown bear.
Chewing on your leg.
Yeah. Oh, no, he didn't. No, I destroyed him.
No, you ran away.
No, I destroyed him. You'll see.
No.
It was amazing.
I don't believe
I'll post pictures eventually here.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, you're hearing my sexy, wonderful voice, so you know I'm alive.
Just because you're alive doesn't mean you destroyed a bear. You'll post pictures once you find pictures on Google of a dead bear, and you'll Photoshop yourself into them. Wait, you won't even do that. You'll MS Paint your way into them, and then you'll be all set.
I was gonna say MS Paint is much more likely. Yeah. Well, don't you worry. You're gonna see. You'll see.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Other than that, I haven't done much gaming in general just because I've been over here, but I got a few rounds of Battleborn in, having a good time with Galt, about to switch him up and try a new character, actually, as soon as I get home. Played a little bit of Destiny, been getting my brother-in-law caught up in that for its next little iteration, and that's about it.
So that's it for us this week. Next up's the This Week in Gearbox segment, as always. This week we've got a lot of stuff to cover, so this might stretch out into the rest of the show. But first off, starting with the small stuff, they dropped SHiFT codes for 5 golden keys in the pre-sequel, so as usual, those will be in the show notes, or you can hit up the Twitters for that. They also dropped during the Ernest gameplay reveal live stream, and we'll talk more about Ernest in a little bit, but they dropped a SHiFT code for his golden skin. So that'll be in the show notes too, or you can hit up our Twitter or Gearbox's Twitters for all that good stuff. So the big news for this week, obviously, is Ernest drops for Season Pass and Digital Deluxe holders, and to celebrate that, they said they're going to be having a 50% off sale on all UPR loot packs, running through Monday at 8 a.m. So stock up.
Well, actually, though, they might change that because I'm going to go ahead and send them a personal email stating I need some LLC pack love for my Phoebe.
No, you're not getting that spin taunt.
Okay.
You're not getting it.
All right. Well, stand by. We'll see about that.
But no, you'll be able to deck out your Benedict and your Ernest. You can have your Aviant Amigos just all decked out in matching outfits. It'll be great. Hashtag Aviant Amigos. They also announced that XP boosts are going to be coming. They said, they got such good feedback on the double XP weekends that they thought this would be something nice to throw in for us. XP boosts will last 24 hours. You'll get additional command XP and character XP. I haven't seen them in the store yet because we record this as soon as I get off work, but I'm assuming you'll be able to buy them with either platinum or credits. I would assume at least credits.
Yeah, since they didn't mention, I'm going to take a wild guess that it's both. You'll either be able to use platinum or credits. So for those of you who are against the pay-to-win motto, well, guess what? Use credits, you can get the same thing. Win-win.
Not that it's really pay to win. It's just pay to level up faster. In this case, anyway.
Well, trust me, people will misconstrue it any way they can.
That's true. So another thing they launched last weekend was the Hardcore Spotlight mode, which if you didn't get a chance to look at that, it's a random selection of story missions with a certain theme.
It was the Ekinar.
Yeah, I think last week it was all missions that take place on Ekinar. This week it's going to be missions that take place on Bliss. They said these will just run throughout the weekend for some reason, and in addition to being random story missions, these are all on advanced difficulty with hardcore mode on, so no respawns. You got to be serious Johnny if you're getting into this playlist.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating, to be honest, but I do look forward to trying to get our group in there and do one or two.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit intimidating, but I mean, if you're running solo and you're not super confident in your ability to do those missions, maybe you jump in the playlist because all the tryhards are going to be in there. All the really skilled players will be in there. Maybe they can carry you through. Then you can get golds and silvers on advanced hardcore modes.
Well, and just by watching them play, you'll see where they're going, where the spawn points are, where the nice little spots to stand are so you don't die, and that kind of stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
So a nice little tutorial for you if you're a beginner in the hardcore/advanced playset.
Yeah, good point. I like that. So that's the PvE side of things. They announced this weekend an additional PvP mode, which they're calling Chaos Rumble. And in this mode, I'm not sure if this is going to be Incursion, Meltdown, and Capture like all the others, but I know the one thing they're doing in this mode is they're turning character uniqueness off. So if your buddy picks Wrath and you really wanted to play Wrath, now you can play Wrath too. You can have 2 Wraths, you can have 3 Wraths, you can have 4 Wraths and 5 Wraths. You can just have a giant crazy team of any number of people you want. And they specifically said this will obviously wreck competitive play, but it's just a fun, crazy mode. Go nuts and just face a crazy, insane team.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of the combos. We've talked about 5 Pendles, so everybody's just running around getting completely ganked beyond measure. Yeah. You got, as you said, the 5 Wraths. You just time those Dreadwinds over and over and over and over again.
Uh-huh. As soon as you walk up on a sentry, it's dead because everyone's just spinning.
That would be amazing.
I'm looking forward to rolling with a crew of 5 Pendleses against a crew of 5 Pendleses, just running around. Where is everybody? Oh, nobody has any idea. So the first person to attack a minion will just start the biggest gang fight you've ever seen in any kind of game like this.
Mm-hmm. Or you get 3 Montanas, 2 healers, stand at the line there like in the incursion mode, and you just lay down fire. Never move, never do anything. You just lay down fire. Let the whole 24 or 25-minute round match just roll out.
Or roll with like 5 Boulders. Just everyone dashing around, then putting your shield up. Then your buddy dashes, and he puts his shield up. Just everyone's getting knocked everywhere. No one's dying. Everyone's just invincible like all the time. It'll be ridiculous. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the boulder is the boulders. The boulders.
Boulderai?
Plural.
Boulders is.
I want to see what this boulder is all about as well.
So moving on from that, we've got a couple hot fixes for our boy Benedict. So this week they're upping his reload speed, his initial reload speed a little bit. And then for his, I think it's his level 3 augment, Ready Rockets, apparently it was glitching out, so it dropped his reload speed by 45% instead of the 30 it's supposed to be. So they just went ahead and fixed that.
Let the problem solve itself, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Benedict got a tiny nerf.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got to make the other aviant they're bringing in more appealing. So, hey, look, Benedict, he's not that great. Play this other cool explosion aviant.
That's right. Play the fat chicken. He's amazing.
Right. Be a fat chicken. Another thing Gearbox announced is they're going to be at PAX West. Well, I'm sure they announced this a long time ago, but today they announced that they're going to be streaming their panel on their official Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Gearbox Software. That panel is going to be September 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. They said, hey, check us out. We might drop some Battleborn news. So check it out because they're probably going to drop some Battleborn news.
Mm-hmm. I would put money on it. In fact, I would put money that it's going to be prediction time, and I'm going to say that it's going to be a new operation.
Yep, I definitely agree with that.
In fact, I'll say it's going to be 2 operations.
Now you're getting too far ahead of yourself. I don't trust that one.
2 operations.
And 6 characters and a giant pile of money for anybody watching.
That's right.
But yeah, definitely tune in for that. Anytime they've said, oh, maybe you want to check it out, we've at least gotten a golden skin out of it. So I'm sure we're going to get all kinds of good news, maybe some shift codes for some crazy skins. Like some PAX skins I think would be pretty cool. Neon skins, something different, something unique for people who watch the stream, even though I'm sure they'll tweet it out too. So obviously the big deal this week, we've mentioned him numerous times already, is that for Season Pass and Digital Deluxe holders, Ernest drops today, right now. Well, he dropped earlier today. But he's available to play right now. If you didn't get a chance to look at the gameplay reveal stream that they did last week, which I still haven't, I don't know if you have or not.
I piecemealed it. I didn't really see the whole thing through. Okay. Being in Alaska and fighting bears takes work. Okay. This is an easy thing to do.
Running from bears, you can't really watch a stream when you're running away from a bear.
When you're fighting a bear, yes, you cannot watch a stream. It's very difficult. But I intend to catch up. I am back home, and I will catch up with everything.
Mm. So for those of us who didn't see it, today we got our first look at his abilities, his attacks, all that good stuff. So just going to basically just run straight through those. His primary attack is his grenade launcher. It says it's got 6 explosive rounds, and it says he can deal area damage on impact. And it says here, or after a short delay. In the little skills overview video I saw, it didn't really say anything about a delayed option, but maybe it's somewhere in his helix. I didn't get a chance to look at that either.
I saw it mention that too. And then to boot, direct hits with the frags equal bonus damage.
Mm-hmm. I think it's 15%. If you're up in one of the overlooks and you can snipe down on everybody, get some direct hits, you'll be helping the team out quite a bit there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of his abilities is called Power Egg, and that throws out an egg that will buff up your team. Apparently, it's got an attack mode and a defense mode. In attack mode, it'll boost your buddy's attack speed by 25%. In defense mode, it reduces damage done to them by 15%. So this is kind of a shout-out to the utility characters we were hoping to see, where if you're pushing, you can throw out the attack mode, get everybody throwing out that damage, get Marquise just knocking out sniper shots, or if you're getting pushed back, throw that defensive egg right behind your main line. Maybe your guys aren't getting pushed back quite as much.
And it's just funny, we mentioned having a utility / support character, and here's a little something that might be up your road. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah. Hey, it's nice to be right sometimes.
Let me pat my back. Except for I'm sure a billion people on Reddit have already discussed it before I did, but I'm still gonna pat my own back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure literally everyone else who saw the roster went, hey, where's my utility guy? And we're just the ones who told ourselves about it on a podcast. So, yeah, thanks to us, you guys now have this.
That's right.
Now, his other ability is an explosive charge. He gets to throw out a sticky bomb, and I'm not sure if it will automatically detonate after some certain time. It doesn't specifically say. It only mentions that you can trigger when it detonates. I would think you wouldn't be able to have like 17 of them all around the whole game map and then trigger them all at once. Maybe you only have a certain amount out at once, or they disappear after a certain time, but you can throw out those sticky bombs, you can stick them to your enemies, blow them up whenever you want. Just have a crazy time.
I'm sure it'll work something like Galt's, where you can only have a couple up at any given time unless you have a Helix option that has, an increased amount up.
Now, since we specified that he can detonate his explosive charges, I'm assuming that's what his secondary attack is going to be, like his left trigger attack. It says pull the plunger and detonate the explosive charges, and this is what also switches your egg from attack mode to defense mode. So maybe if you don't have explosive charges out on the field, he flips a little switch and it alters the way the egg works. Again, not 100% sure, haven't played with him, but that's the way it seems to me.
Obviously, I haven't got to play with him yet either, so not quite sure on that. We'll find out in another hour or two.
That's right. And then last but not least, obviously, his ultimate is Mind Grid. It looks like he throws out that big old giant egg on his back, and it just lays mines all over the place. So this is your lane shutdown tool for a little while. If your whole crew gets decimated, you're the last one up. Throughout your Mind Grid, you'll be doing damage to all the Battleborns, the minions, anything else that's walking through that little minefield, because those mines explode on impact. Shut a lane down for a little while, do a lot of damage to anybody coming in.
That's pretty awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now, as we had kind of predicted a little bit, just like what happened with Pendles when they launched him, we got like a sneak peek at Ernest's little art reveal. When they dropped Ernest today, they revealed the next Battleborn, Kid Ultra. He's an LLC Battleborn. He looks kind of like robot teenager, cool guy. It specifically says he is the, quote fingers, pinnacle of support technology, buffing and healing teammates while subduing enemies, which sounds now exactly like that utility character we've been talking about.
I just want to say, a couple weeks ago, it would be great, Matt. Oh, what'd be great, Eric? Well, it'd be great if we had a support character, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's exactly the same thing I was thinking 2 seconds ago, yeah.
Wow. Look at what Gearbox did. We're getting a complete support character.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see it. Obviously, we don't know much about him yet, but the aspects of his design, he's got like little jet wings on his shoulders. So I'm hoping he can like be like super fast, but obviously, you know, super weak. You can just fly in, drop the buffs, drop the debuffs, fly away. Maybe give him a dash in, and then for 5 seconds he can dash back out again before it goes on cooldown for like 20 seconds. You can just zoom in, drop buffs, get out of there.
I already got his motto: get in, get out, get better.
Oh my God.
Yes. It's going to be beautiful.
That is horrible.
No,
that is the worst.
Great. That is his motto. I don't even care. That's what I'm doing.
The other one thing I want to say about his design that really appealed to me is he totally has a Jet Set Radio face. Like, as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, it looks like Beat. It looks like Jet Set Radio. I am all about this. I love this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely like the design they were going with, too. It looked a little weird at first, but after looking at it a little bit longer, I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait to actually see the in-game iteration of that. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep, they said he'll be dropping in the next couple of months, so obviously we'll be looking out for more info on him whenever that becomes available. Now, the other thing that went down this week, I'm not entirely sure when it originally happened, but Gearbox did an AMA on their Discord. We weren't able to jump on the original broadcast or chat of that. But on the forum, somebody put together a Google Doc of a lot of the questions and answers. The AMA was with Randy Varnell, Joe King, and someone else. I can't remember who the third person was. I'm totally blanking on the name. But I don't know if anybody tweeted that out, but you can definitely find it on the forum. That's where we found it. That's where Danny linked it to us. So during this AMA, people brought up all kinds of questions, and we got all kinds of answers from Gearbox, just all kinds of random subjects. We thought we'd cherry pick out a few. Maybe you guys hadn't heard the news, or we can discuss what we thought about what they were talking about. What's on your plate there, Eric?
Well, one of the ones I wanted to mention was the fact that they've got those season pass operations coming, and the Thrall Rebellion being the first one. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about those because the way they discussed it, it made it sound like it's going to have like several different arcs to the story. So each time you load into this particular story, you're going to get a different one of those arcs. So each story now has 3 arcs. So that just expands hugely on the amount of possibilities and the amount of character interaction you're going to get between people. So I can't wait to see how that goes. And I'm also wondering, it made it also sound like the map itself might be different, like paths you take. I wasn't quite sure on that part, though.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure on that. I was picturing, like, if it's a Thrall Rebellion, maybe you start off in one part of this big open battlefield, and you're fighting, like, the Grunts, the Primal Thralls, or whoever it is, and then the next time you go in, you're, like, a little bit deeper into it. You're facing higher-ranked enemies as the story progresses, stuff like that. But the other thing that I was really excited about, they specifically stated that these chunks you're going to be going into will be shorter than a normal story mode mission. Instead of devoting 30 to 45 minutes for a chunk, maybe you're in there for 15, 20. You have enough time right before work or right before dinner or whatever. Jump in there with your buddies, get a chunk of that story done, play it with a brand new character, and get in, get out, and get on with your life.
No, you almost got it. You almost had it. Oh,
I can't take it away from Kid Ultra. It's Trademark now.
That's true. It's Trademark now. You're right. No, I agree with that. We talked about that, having 10, 15-minute missions. God, I'm so excited about that because I have kids, as everybody knows, and sometimes I just don't have 30, 40 minutes. So I want to get on, but I know that I'm going to get interrupted and never finish and get nothing for my time. So these little 10-minute, 15-minute escapades I can actually get on board with. It's going to be great. Even
in a situation where if you're doing really bad, you're going to fail inside of like 7 to 10 minutes versus we made it through minute 25. We're 2/3 of the way through it, and now we fail. And you don't get nothing, but we basically ruined it for ourselves. Now it's quick. Just take a little bite of Battleborn and then run off and do your thing.
And then go back to work. Exactly. A little thing they talked about just briefly, and it's not very important, but just because I love Arendi, I wanted to bring it up. Somebody asked the question, are we going to hear from Arendi some more character-on-character interaction? And they stated that the actress, she lives pretty far away from where they're based there in Texas. But they said they did have her in just recently for some more lines, so we can expect to hear from her in whatever these next big operations and story missions are going to be unveiling to us.
Awesome. More character interaction, more more hilarious Arendi dialogue for me to overhear while you're playing as her will be awesome.
Exactly.
One thing I was definitely really excited about was someone asked if they're going to be putting in a draft mode, kind of like what we've discussed with when you're picking your characters, this team gets to pick, that team gets to pick. They said that is definitely coming. They're all excited about doing that. They said that's coming in, I think they said about fall, winter, so, a couple more months. They're hoping to knock that out. And as for ranked play, which kind of goes hand in hand with draft, again, something they definitely want to do. They're excited about doing that, but that's so far in the future that they can't really make any firm comments on that. But I was still excited to see that both of those things they're excited about too, and that drafting is definitely coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be pleasantly surprised when that hits, which, going off the record so far, these things they keep saying are off and a ways end up being right around the corner. So
that is true.
Definitely keep an eye out for that. And another one I wanted to mention too was someone talked about, is there anybody who actually keeps really firm track of the lore in the game?
Oh,
and and so Joe responded saying, hey, you know what? We actually do keep track of that, and it'd be amazing to actually start incorporating more lore into the battle plans. And oh, goodness, that just lit me a big old smile on my face, because those little shorts they had, and of course the in-game shorts and the little animated series and whatnot, those are so fantastic. So I'm hoping we get that with pictures and just little like comic shorts, something like that would be amazing.
Even this battle plan, they did it a little bit, because I printed out the Ernest reveal, the battle plan, all that stuff, and Ernest's backstory was literally a full page.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I saw that.
You got to hear all about him, what he's been doing, how he changed as a result of what's been going on, all that good stuff. So I just like you, I'm definitely excited to see more of that coming up. One question that somebody had was, we've got all this gear, and at this point all we can really do is sell it for credits, and a handful of credits at that. They were asking if maybe they were thinking about doing something where you can combine two pieces of the same gear, 2 or 3 or however many, to get another piece of like a higher rarity, some kind of collection/building/crafting system. I think it was Joe that responded to that, saying that they had an interest in it, but it was kind of low priority right now because they've got so many other things they're working on, so much other stuff that's coming down the pipe, that's something that's way off in the future if they get to it. But again, I was glad to hear it was something that was in their minds too, because when I look at my gear screen, I've got 3 legendaries that are all the same thing, slightly different stats, and I don't want to just sell them for the handful of credits.
Yeah, it'd be nice to just combine 3 of the same, and it guarantees a higher roll on that item or something. Even that would just be a nice little upgrade. But that's down the line, so we'll have to wait and see if that ever comes into fruition. Now, one thing they did mention is coming is someone asked if they're going to go ahead and reduce the prices of all the loot packs to around the pricing they were for the Lootpocalypse or whatever. They said they've talked about reducing the prices, but first they're going to do something once again we've brought up already, which I thought was fantastic. For PvP, they're going to be increasing the amount of credits you get for your matches. It won't feel so, I hate to say, lackluster, at the end of a match when there's really nothing coming out of it. So hopefully that is something incorporated pretty soon. I can't remember if they said it was going to be in the next big patch or not. They did say it's coming. So that had me going, yeah, cool. Just
like we said all last episode, for you max rank guys, that'll give you more coins in your pocket, more of a reward when you're running at rank 100 with your maxed out character.
And the last one I wanted to bring up, on my end anyway, was the dojo. Someone asked if they were going to go ahead and put in an area where you could practice your rotations and do all that kind of stuff. And they said it was really complicated. It was something I didn't even think about really, but it takes a lot of resources to put you in an online environment just so you can play solo and do your little rotations and hit a dummy, etc. So they said, hey, stay tuned for the possibility of a dojo where I assume it's going to be a whole 10-player base area, and you can just pop on in and go on to whatever dummies or little battle area it is and practice your rotations, running around, jumping around, all that other good stuff.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to hear about that. I was picturing maybe I always go back to the analogy of a firing range, but even for melee characters, maybe you're in that little glassed-in hallway. You can see everyone else, down in the other hallways doing their thing while you're in there with your training dummy. One thing they said was, this was news to me, so I thought we'd mention it. They said the only reason they're hesitant about doing an offline version of that is that you're basically putting more code in the hands of people who could possibly hack the game or cheat, because, oh, this is how you put a character in and this is how you make it do this or that. You don't need the possibility of more cheaters.
Well, then they got to spend their time and resources on stopping it instead of making new content. So
the last thing I specifically wanted to mention was somebody asked a question about the load-in time for when you have a lot of loadouts. And I know Player X has been just throwing his controller across the room.
Player X has been watching this.
Because he doesn't want to have loadouts so he can get his favorite character. Well, Player X...
Damn Player X.
This is just for you, buddy. They said in the next big patch they're going to address that. So maybe now you can have a bunch of loadouts. So once you get your Pendles or you get your Oscar Mike, you can have your loadout for him. You don't have to just be terrible with no loadouts anymore.
For Player X. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
That one's for all you Player X's out there. So, I mean, that's it for me. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I would just say, if you haven't seen that already, which most of you guys, probably guys and gals, excuse me, have, go check it out. It's the Battleborn AMA. I'm sure you can Google it and find it, no problem.
Yeah, I think it's like the second or third link that shows up on Google, because when I was looking for it again, that's how I had to find it. But yeah, what do you guys think about what's coming down the pipe? What do you think about Ernest? Give us your feedback. What do you think about any of this stuff? And again, this week we did our Talented Tuesday art competition between you, me, and Danny. The subject this time was Wrath, so you can go to our Twitter account to check out little preview versions of each and everyone's pictures, and go to the Instagram. There's a link in the tweet, obviously, for the full versions. I thought everybody did pretty funny ones this time, actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed all three. If you guys haven't checked those out, please do, because they are pretty darn awesome.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Mine is the best, so make sure you click love on that.
It was clever and unexpected. I don't know that it was the best, though.
Whatever. That's fine.
Mine was the best.
Your opinion's okay.
I'm the best. It's time for the mailbag. Today's question comes from Sean, who is at 10K Beers on Twitter. He asks, are you disappointed with the lack of content thus far for Battleborn Season Pass holders?
I'm not, and the reason why is because we get those hero keys. When these new heroes come out, they're 47,500 credits.
Yeah.
For me, that's an insane amount. I never have more than 3,000 credits at any given time. So 47,500, I'm not getting it. I wouldn't have Pendles.
You're not stingy anymore. You used to be stingy, and now you're not.
I would not have Alani. I used to be stingy. Now I'm buying loot packs every chance I get. Loot pack. I still have not gotten the Phoebe awesome taunt.
Spin to win,
Until
buddy.
I get that. Yeah, spin to win. Until I get that, I'm done. I just can't. I got to spend the loot packs. LLC loot pack. So I feel good. I'm happy I have it because it allows me to have these 5 expanded heroes without having to worry or think about it in any regard. Okay. I do know that they said something about giving us content as well.
Yeah.
But to me, take your time, do it right. I'd rather have a finished product than something rushed. I'm a patient man. Yeah. I can wait as long as it's good.
I'm a patient man too. I'm usually not. I'll get fired up about stuff taking longer than I wanted it to. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit disappointed that we don't have the story mode content that they said was going to be coming. It'd just be something else to do, something to freshen it up, especially with what they've said about the new story content. But in the meantime, and I'm not 100% sure this is the case, it feels like maybe because the story stuff's taking longer than maybe they expected. I mean, we're getting heroes fast. I mean, we had Pendles for like 3 weeks before Ernest was announced, and then right after he was announced, he's getting dropped. Who knows if he keeps going at this pace? That's just the feeling that I have that can't or haven't gotten us the story stuff really quick and on a cool regular basis. They're just going, all right, well, here's the hero. I feel like we're getting the heroes faster than we normally would. And again, that's just going off of my League of Legends background, where you get a hero and then you'll maybe get a tease of the next one, and then it's months and months and months down the road before you even see him in on the beta servers. So just getting these heroes, like, what is it, once a month now? It's
been like once a month, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm frustrated about it, but would stave off any kind of frustration I would have about not getting the story content just because it's a new hero. You're playing around with him for a month, and here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. So I'm slightly disappointed, but I'm not outraging on Twitter about it or anything.
Well, yeah, and as we've discussed, they were talking about it. They've got story modes lined up. They've got all sorts of amazing things they're working on.
Yeah.
So that just also feeds into what I was saying, is that I'm patient. Do that right, because the stuff we've talked about, if that comes out and it's done properly, that's going to be a ton of fun. Replay value is going to be high.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're getting some new characters. So, I don't know. It's a win-win for me.
If they hadn't said anything about, what was coming down the pipe, if we didn't get all the new characters, if people were asking about draft mode and they went, sometime, maybe we'll think about doing it. Or what about these modes? We're not ready to talk about them. We're not thinking about them yet. If it was one of those situations, then I could see people getting frustrated. Probably even I would be a little frustrated. But we're getting characters. We're getting news on the story modes. We're getting news on plans for draft and ranked play. And we know that they're thinking about these things and working on them, and that stuff is queued up that's going to be coming to us eventually. Like I said, a little disappointed, but it's not a big deal.
And I'm not disappointed at all. Content's coming down the pipeline. It's not coming as fast as some of the things they said were, but they're replacing some things with other things, being characters. So, hey, enjoy the new characters. Have fun with the current maps and current PvE, because soon you're going to be doing nothing but the newer stuff, and then next thing you know, you're going to wish you could play some of the older stuff again.
You'll still be playing Overgrowth, though, every day, all the time.
Yes, forever. Yes, I understand. I've resigned myself to this. But yeah, that was a great question.
It definitely was a great question. And if you guys have any other questions for us, as always, you can email us at info@thirdshift.me. You can find us on Facebook under Third Shift. We're on Twitter at ThirdShiftMe. That's ThirdShiftME. You can hit us up on any one of the socials. We got socials all over the place. You can find us under ThirdShiftMe on pretty much anything. For any direct links, go to our website at ThirdShift.me. As always, this podcast drops every Friday on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podomatic. We upload to YouTube. We're everywhere. So we'll see you guys again on September the 2nd for our next episode. And unless you've got anything else to add there, Eric.
Hey, as always, I just want to thank everybody out there listening.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you guys and hope you stick with us.
Yep, absolutely. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate the love. And so until next time, don't forget to save.
Shut up and sit down.